Microcredit Summit Campaign, and I'm here with Ghada Waly, the Minister of Social Protection from Egypt. Ghada, it's very much an honor to be here speaking with you. And we at the campaign have been talking about how social protection can become a pathway out of poverty and can be linked to financial inclusion and to livelihood development. And I wanted to ask you first, what is the social protection program in Egypt and how does that work?
Well, the social protection program in Egypt falls under the social justice dimension, where we are working on availing equal opportunity for all, inclusion of all Egyptians, south and north, east and west, in the development of the whole country. So closing the gaps between rural areas and urban areas, disparities are being addressed and vulnerabilities are being addressed. So our social protection program is partly a social safety net where cash is being provided to the poorest of the poor and those unable to provide for themselves, be it because of disability, be it because of age, or be it because of being in a geographically distressed area away from development where income opportunities are limited. So we're using poverty maps and we go to the poorest governed rates and the poorest districts within those governed rates, and then we ask people to apply for cash transfers, and we use a proxy means testing formula to identify based on a number of dimensions who are eligible for this cash transfer. It's not a cash transfer that is not tied with any conditions. It comes with conditions, and these conditionalities include health and education, health provision for the children and the family, and an education attendance rate actually at school that is no less of 80%, because enrollment is there, but what we want to do is to really reduce dropping out from school and joining labor markets. So this is the social the cash transfer program within the social protection, but there's also an expansion in school feeding programs. We want to increase school feeding programs so that all children in Egypt in primary public schools get fed at school with a meal that is kind of providing them with a caloric intake that helps them continue to study, but also helps alleviate the burden of feeding the children in the poor homes. There's also a big labor-intensive employment program where there are infrastructure investments in labor-intensive activities, and those take place in villages, building and paving roads, cleaning canals, stoning river Nile banks, improving housing. So many small-scale labor-intensive programs targeting the poor youth who are unemployed or seasonal worker with limited income. There's also access to finance program where there is a whole list of incentives and facilities given to those institutions that are willing to provide credit to the poor. So we want to provide access to finance to the poor. You want to provide food to those who need it. We also have a bread subsidy program and a food subsidy program that is also being revamped. Efficiency is being increased, and also we're looking at targeting. Targeting is very important for us because when you have limited resources and you have a huge need for support, you really need to make sure that support goes to those who need it. So including women and youth, going to the poor rural areas, doing better targeting and increasing efficiency of the social programs is what we do under the social protection umbrella.
Very good. Now, one of the criticisms of social protection programs is that it makes people dependent on government. So now there are some people in the program that have no ability to work, but for those who do have ability to work, what do you do to try to encourage them to move into the workforce or to provide for their own livelihood?
Well, what you said is very true, Larry. It is true that people come into especially a cash transfer program and consider it a part of their income, and they do not want to get out of the program. When we do our program nowadays, and it's called Takaful and Karama, this program is about an entry and an exit strategy. So people come in based on criteria, and people are recertified 3 years later and exit the program based on reaching a certain income and achieving certain objectives, be it development objectives or income generation objectives. We also do not include everyone in the program. So this screening criteria allows us to identify those able to find jobs. And for those able to find jobs, we're providing them with the third program called Opportunity. And Opportunity is based on oportunidades, and Prospera of
Right,
Mexico.
right.
So we're learning from other countries, starting where others have ended. And while we based our cash transfer program on Bolsa Familia, we are looking at Oportunidades and Prospera to see how can people really join opportunities for work and become more productive. So you could provide them with an opportunity by linking them to those NGOs and institutions that work on, linking them to jobs, doing the matchmaking between the market needs and the skill set that is needed for youth. So they either do training or they just introduce them to factories, to businesses that are seeking youth to work for them, or by providing them with an opportunity to get a loan and start their own business. So we have established a microfinance law, and the microfinance law allows the establishment of companies, for-profit companies, to do credit provisions and to do financial services. So including the youth in the financial services and inclusion of the poor in financial services, I think will help them leave and stay away from those cash transfer programs and find jobs where there is stable income, or start businesses where there is growth opportunity.
Very good. And the cash transfers provides a regular source of income for people who may not have any regular source of income. What are you doing to help use that as a way of introducing them into the financial system and creating the ability to save up for the future?
This is also a key element. We are using technology to a great extent. We're benefiting from technology in the registration process because this helps us build a database and collect information about the poor and their profile. We're also using technology when it comes to identifying a score for families who benefit from the program, so that moving on the score can identify their staying or leaving the program. But then payment happens through the post offices and happens through banks, and it is done through a card. And this payment card, is for the first time, a use of technology, and it's a smart card, and you can always add other services. So along with the cash transfers, we have provided, with the cooperation of the Ministry of Health, a program of health insurance for the poor. So when you are part of this program, this makes you automatically eligible for health insurance. When you link the databases, and this is again the use of technology, you link the databases to each other, you can immediately identify who has a government job, because you link it to the database of government, who is on pension, be it private sector pension or public pension, who is receiving another type of cash transfer. We're also working with the large NGOs in the country to have a unified database, because some people go to different NGOs and get support from these NGOs. So you really want to know what are people getting, so that you identify who are excluded and go to those excluded. And the more difficult you make it for people to join the program and the continuous screening and certification, the more you can improve your targeting. Another element is also social accountability. You want to be very transparent, and you want to announce who's getting what, so that if people have concerns, they can come and report that there is fraud here, or that there is a mistake there, or that this woman is a landowner who has enough income and should not be part of your program. So different tools combined together, but with a focus on efficiency and good targeting.
Very good. And we hear that one of the big challenges in Egypt is unemployment, especially among the youth. So how do you see these programs and other programs that Egypt is developing for creating more ability for young people to create their own jobs in the future?
Investing in health and education, you have a healthier, better educated, and better skilled generation. So this is important. Malnutrition is a problem in Upper Egypt, so such programs address malnutrition. School feeding helps them stay longer in school and benefit better from what they get. Improving the educational system and developing it, improving the vocational training system and developing, will make your youth more employable. But also we have a large program of mega projects that are looking at creating employment opportunities. Those mega projects, like the Suez Canal project and developing the zone around the Suez Canal, like building roads, thousands of kilometers of roads for the first time, like building new cities, all these are sectors that create jobs. So growth, helping growth and attracting investment is for job creation at the end and for a better quality of life for all. But you also want to make sure that the type of skills and competencies you provide your youth are the skills and competencies that the market needs. And here we still have a problem, because there are many job opportunities in Egypt, but they are not necessarily finding the type of competencies that they need. And there are a lot of job seekers, but they cannot find the job of their dreams. Right. So this matchmaking is important, but also, again, using microcredit as a tool to empower young men and women in case they do not find the job of their dreams. They should create the job of their dreams and become self-employed.
Very good. Well, thank you very much, Minister Waly. It's been a pleasure talking with you, and we look forward to working with you in the work that you are doing in Egypt.
Thank you, Larry, and congratulations on the work of the Microcredit Summit Campaign. It's very important, the work that you're doing.
Thank you very much.